Hi, everybody. My name is Amy from Journals and More Creative by Crack Amy, and I'm here today as a design team member for Scrapbooking with, or I'm sorry, Silver and Sparkles. And I'm going to I made a quick folio out of envelopes, and I wanted to show you my finished project. And um, I'll show you how to put the initial together, and then you can see like how I put it together before I decorate it all, but I didn't want to bore you with all the inking and everything. So what I did was I took 7 envelopes of the same size, which are all right here, and I glued them together, and I'll show you how here in a second. And I put just a simple closure on it with a jute string, and I used a little leaf to decorate that piece. And I used some cardstock and a piece of the ephemera from the kit I used, and also a brad. And then, so what I did was the front of it I collaged with a bunch of the ephemera from the kit that I wasn't going to use, and I knew I wasn't going to use it. And I also used some other, like burlap or whatever, just to decorate it. And I sewed the edges. I used this decorative washi tape for all the seams. You don't have to do that. I just liked the look of it, and I had this washi, and it looked really nice. So I kind of just put that on all the edges just for decoration, really. I mean, it does help with stability, but I like it for decoration. And then here's where I put the brad. So I used a little piece of ephemera to block that brad. I also used a vintage typewriter paper, and I actually covered all of the envelopes with that typewriter paper. And I used this stamp right here to stamp it instead of like having to, put a lot of decoration into it. And I used a scalloped cutter to scallop the edges for a little decoration. And then I went over with the splatter ink, the splatter stamp with the ink. And I used vintage photo. And again, same thing here. I just put one of the little embellishment birds on here, left it simple. I sewed all the edges and just put a little ephemera piece, Let Your Heart Be Light. And again, sewed, splattered, washi. I do use glue under my washi, just so you know. You do not have to. I choose to. I always do. I don't trust washi because it's like a repositional tape as it is, so it does lift if you don't. I like to use glue for that. I actually used PVA glue. And let's see, again, same thing. Okay, now on the center, and this wasn't planned out, I kind of accidentally did this. I put 2 envelopes face up, so this way I had pockets still, because all the envelopes will be closed. And then I put a tag in here, and I decorated this with a ephemera page that I knew I wasn't going to cut out all these little bits and bobs. So I actually just used the ephemera page to cover it. I sewed in a signature, and the signature I have I think I used 3 pages. Yeah, I used 3 pages out of here's an example of the pages that I used. I saved one for the next one I make. I took them and I actually backed them with a writing paper, and then I folded over the length instead of cut. I cut this side, but I folded over for a tuck spot here. So you don't have to do that. I just wanted to do that because I like the little tuck spot, but I didn't want to cover up all the writing space. So I did that, and then I just folded it. And this is part of the kit I used, and I'll let you know what kit that is in a minute. And again, here's some pages I had left over, and I did that for everyone. And I alternated like the sides that I folded over. Some are on the left, and then some are on the right here, that kind of thing. And then I also used some coffee dyed paper just to put in for extra writing space. And then I took an old vintage book page, and I cut a little pocket out of it, and I tucked a little tag in there, and decorated with a piece of embellishment and some of the burlap. And here's that little tuck spot I talked about. So I was able to tuck in 3 different tags in here. So that's why I like the little tuck spot. And because I didn't want a whole lot of pockets in this, because I didn't want it to be too bulky. And again, I mean, someone whoever gets this can add on to it and do tip-ins, whatever. And then here's where I sewed it. And then here's another little tuck spot. I put in three little writing spots, and again sewed it. And then I left this plain, and you can still write on this as well. And writing paper. And then here was the other little pocket I added with some burlap and some ephemera, and then I put a little tag in there. I might put a couple more tags in here. Actually, I have some sitting here, so I may just add another one to each pocket. Actually, I should do that because I kind of have space for it, so I may as well do that. Let's put this one in there. Okay, there we go. So I added two in there, and then another little tuck spot here. And I used the ephemera for tabs on the tags. I used all the ephemera because there was a lot of ephemera in the kit I used, and I'm not going to use it all. So I used that for the tabs on top of the tags. Say that how many times fast, right? And then, like I said, this is a little wax thing, and I backed it all with book page. And then here's the other side with the open pocket, and I put a postcard in there and another tag, and I backed it with Amazon packaging paper for writing. And then again, here's a postcard, and I put that in here. So, and again, I might put another sheet of paper in here of some sort. I don't know yet. It depends. It depends on what I'm doing with it. I might fill it up and give it as a gift. Again, there's another envelope, and here's the back. And the back I left simple. I wanted to be able to write on that as well. The only thing I did was put a piece of burlap and put journal your own story on it. And then this way, just a fun piece. And then again, you just wrap it around, and then wrap it up. And there it is. And that's what I made. So here's 7 envelopes, and I'll show you what I did. So I start out with one envelope facing down like this, and then I took all the rest of them and I fold the flap backwards, right? So then it should go on like this, and I'll show you. I'm just using PVA glue just to put them together. It gives me a little more wiggle room than art glitter glue, and you can also use glue stick. You can use whatever glue you want, and then you put glue on this flap right here. I think this one I'm going to make without envelopes open though. I think just because I don't know. And then what you want to do is you want to line this up. So you want to line this up on this flap. You don't want glue on that flap. You want to line this up on this flap right here, and then put this down. Put this flap down like this, but you want to make sure that when you put this down, because you still have time to move, you can fold it. So that's the important part. You got to be able to fold it. So I put it back a little bit too far, so you can move it a little bit because I used the PVA, so I have a little wiggle room. And then let's see. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me pull this up. I'm not feeling confident about this one. Here, hold on. The first one's always the toughest to get lined up. After this, it's so simple. Okay, so I should fold this up a little bit. Hold on. Fold this up a little bit. There we go. That's the key. So fold this one up a little bit when you're putting the first one on, because in this way you can see the crease. That made it much easier. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then you should have something that looks like this, right? So you should have this one still open on the back, but you have this. So let me ink this a little bit for you so you can kind of see. Okay, so you can see the crease, right? So there's the crease, and then you have this one. Now you have this one open on the back. So now you're going to take your next one, and you flip it backwards, right? And you put the glue on the flap like that. And then the next one's easier because it's already lining up. So you just put it like that, and I say that now, and because I'm on camera, that's why. Before I put this together in like 5 minutes. Okay, and then you put this over like that. I like to use my bone folder just to kind of flatten it out a little bit to make sure it's sealed. You do not have to do that. And then look, see, now we have one, we have two. Okay, and you see, I hope you see where I'm going with this. And you're making kind of like a little book out of envelopes. And I have so many envelopes. I was like, let me use some envelopes. And let's see. And then again, same process. And I'll show you how to add an open one if you want it. I don't know. I don't want it on this, but I'll show you how. Okay. And again, line it up and see it gets easier because it's already higher up. So it's a lot simpler on as you go. You can add as many as you want. I just chose 7. I don't know why. It just was in my head, and that's just what I chose. Okay. And I'm getting offline a little bit here. Okay. Let's move that one over a little bit. Okay, make sure you can still fold your envelope over because this is going to be how you close it. Okay, I can. All right, now we got this one. And again, like I said, add as many as you want, but make sure you fold the flap backwards. See, that's the opening. I folded it backwards. And again, just pop it on there. And flap it over. There we go. And then you fold it over. See, it goes together really, really, really quickly. And I might just make a bunch because I have so many envelopes and just have them ready and use them up because they make great little ephemera gifts. Like if you're doing happy, oh, my bad, I went backwards. See, don't do what I just did because I put glue here and that's not good. So I got to wipe this off. I don't want that to stick yet. And then, and these make good Happy Mail too. If you want to send them as Happy Mail and fill them up, that's great too. Which I might use this as Happy Mail. I think I might. Okay. And our last one, again, backwards. Don't do what I did before. And even if you did do it that way, it doesn't matter. You can still use it and make it. It doesn't matter. I messed up the first one actually, and it was a happy accident. So. Okay, there we go. I'll put this last one on and smooth it out. And then, okay, and this is what you have. You have 1, 2, oops, see, look, no big deal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flap that was left, and that was your initial flap from your first envelope, and I'm going to kind of fold it over, kind of like to do this first, like on the edge like that, so I can get it really tight, and then take it and fold it over. Okay, and then I kind of smudge it up a little bit, and then I take my phone folder and just kind of do the crease a little bit. I like, make sure it's tight. There we go. And here's your book. Easy peasy. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Isn't that great? Easy peasy. Who does not have a bunch of envelopes to use? So easy. And now all you have to do is decorate it if you want. And then sew signatures in it wherever you want. You could sew a signature in every crease if you wanted to. Right? So that's that. And if you did want to add an envelope that, so you leave open, I have an extra one here. You could just easily like take this and you can easily pop it in like this, like so, do this. And there's another page and leave that one open. You can do that. So do you see what I mean? Like this is the envelope. And if you wanted to leave it open, you just pop it in like this and it'll flap over and you'll still have your writing space. You're not covering any writing space up. And then you have an opening. And if you wanted, you can also add another one like this. Right? Oops, I'm sorry. Bend this one backwards. That's what I did last time. You could bend that one backwards, right? And you can do that like that. You can also do it on this one if you want. You can do it. If you want to do 1, I would put the flap this way. If you want to do 2, put the flap this way. And there you have it. Look. And then you have 2 pockets, 2 open envelopes. You can put 1 here if you want. You could put 1 here if you want. And it doesn't cover up any of your writing space. It's kind of neat. So I can do it this way. I can do this one. That doesn't matter. It's not going to bother me to have it in there. I have no real plan for this anyway. I was just showing you how to do it. So yeah, so if you, so I'm gonna skip that page and do it on here. Which way do I want to do it? Let's do it here. Okay. Let's do it here. So yeah, see, you can just add it on here and it does not interfere with anything right there. See, do that. If you want to, now you have an opening right there and you did not hurt any of your writing space. So, and that's up to you. And then, like I said, this is the front, but I actually change this. I flip it because I like this in the back, but it's up to you, however you want to do it. So there's 1, 2, and there's your opening right here, right? Didn't interfere with anything. Still closed. 3, 4, because you're covering this anyway. So, and this is a good way to use up your paper kits too. Yeah. And then if you wanted to, you can also add another opening in somewhere if you want to. Like if you wanted to add one, let's see what side this one's on. Where is it? Right there. So if you wanted to add one on this side, on the opposite, you can do that as well. I'll put it here. So, and you can, and for this one, you can glue it on either side. You could do this. It doesn't matter. So yeah, see, I just added 2 more envelopes, left them open for tucking things inside of them. If you wanted to use this as Happy Mail and you want to be able to have some larger tuck spots for maybe decorative paper or, you know, whatever. Or if you want to use this for your own daily, like, writing journal, or if you wanted to use it for a planner, or if you wanted to, and you wanted to be able to tuck some, like, you know, maybe even money in it, or I don't know, you can do whatever you want. Or if you want to give this as a gift and put money in it, that's up to you, whatever you want to do. And I just added another one. I mean, you can just keep adding and keep adding. And so now I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 envelopes. So I put 9 envelopes on this. So like I said, you could keep going and keep going. And look, it makes a great book. It makes a great journal, actually. And so that's one. And I mean, you can make a bunch of these up and leave them sit around and just decorate with them if you want to. I have this size envelope too. I could do it here. 1, 2, 3. We'll start out with 5. Let's start with 5. Oh, look, do I already have one put together? Yeah, I do. Huh. That's pretty funny. I didn't even know it was in there. Well, that's cool. Wow, it's so sad when you don't even know, right? Okay, so let's start here. And just fold it backwards. I might use this for Christmas in July journal I'm doing. Or not journal, I'm sorry, ephemera. Okay, start here. And again, line it up, fold up the first one. So this way you get the line up right. And that's why I said I use PVA glue, or glue stick will work fine. It doesn't matter. Just, you want to have a little bit more wiggle room because you do want to make sure that it does fold. That's a big part of this. And it doesn't interfere with things. Okay, there's 2. I have so many envelopes. And this one's vintage. These are vintage, actually. These are really old. Okay. I have tons. And one time I went to a what do you call them? The thrift stores. And they had a whole box of brand new Staples envelopes on a shelf, never used, for like, I think $3. And there was like 500 in it. So I have a ton of envelopes. And I'm like, I'm always trying to use them up. Okay. There's 2. See, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3. Okay. You see how easy this is? It's so simple. What a great way to use up junk envelopes too from the mail. I don't know about you all, but I get tons of junk mail. Tons. And then people save me envelopes, even though I'm like, I don't need any more. But I like upcycling, so I don't mind. I take them anyway. But I don't ask for them. They give them to me, but I don't ask for them because I have enough. Okay. So I'm gonna do, I think 5 on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll do 1 more on this one because I don't want it really large. Okay. And this is exactly how I started that folio, just like this. I just folded them over. Okay. And then that's it for that. I'm only going to do 5 on this one. And then I'm going to fold this flap over. You know, this is great for kids too. Like if you have some grandchildren, or if you have some kids, or for the summer, they can make one of these and make it an art book, or, you know, whatever. They can make one of these. They could put stickers in it. They can put whatever they want in it. They have treasures, but this would be a great summer project. And I know everybody gets tons of junk mail. Okay, there's that one. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And there's a nice little simple one. So that one's ready. See how quick they're going together? And I've only been on here like a few minutes. And this one I start. So a lot of times I forgot about this. I have these sitting around with just 2 or 3 in them because I make them for Happy Mail and I put ephemera inside of them. So that's probably why that was in there. And I do that a lot too, just having them sit around. And I just moved from my she shed down to my basement. So probably got mixed in with things. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah. So, I mean, and there's other ways to do this. You can tuck them in to each other if you want, like this. I mean, you can do it that way too. I just didn't want all the pockets open. So, so that's why I wanted to do it that way, because I just don't want all the pockets open. And then this way I don't have to worry about decorating them or whatever, because they're going to be closed. But these, if you want to just make like a quick little booklet, you can also put 2 envelopes together just like this. Actually, I'll put this together. And this is a great way to start off with something too. And just make a quick like little booklet. These are fun to have sitting around too. If you needed a little quick, maybe daily planner, or just, you know, a little gift. Instead of buying a card at the store, you can tuck money in this and write a little note on there, and then maybe sew in a little tiny signature or something. Like, you know, make it a little notepad and then tuck a gift card in here or something like that. Actually, you know, I have a graduation party tomorrow. That might not be a bad idea now that I'm here. Just made me think about it. I forgot I have to go to my nephew's graduation party tomorrow. Can't believe he's graduating. It's insane. I remember when he was just little. Anyway, it's craziness. It goes so fast. Okay, and then I'll do the same here again. Just tuck this in. Like, I mean, envelopes make a great little thing to have around, just to, and like I said, this is great for kids. This is great for gifts. It's great just for, I use them for even my daily devotionals. If I'm doing that, if I need one real quick, I'll just throw one together real quick. And now you can just sew a little signature in there and you're good to go. So yeah, there's those 2. I'll set them aside. So yeah, so going back to this one, this is the one that I did my original folio with. And so what I did, like I said, what I did is I used the kit by Silver and Sparkles, Pam. And this is a design team project I did for her, and using the Tattered Keepsakes. And I will tell you all, this kit is really, really cool. And this is some of the pages that were in it that you see in this folio. And then here's some extras I had left over. But it's a beautiful kit. It's a nice, really universal, simple kit. And this is what the pages I have left. And then let's talk ephemera. The ephemera is absolutely absurd. There's so much of it. So here's some tags. I mean, when I tell you tags and postcards and all kinds of good, I cut them all out already and backed them all with index cards. So these are all ready. And even if you don't use them all, I will put this in my ephemera box. And so this will match so many other kits that I can have these ready. These were ready to go. And I had leftover strips I'm going to make belly bands out of. So these strips are great because they're already backed. And what I'll do is I'll put fabric behind them or maybe a cardstock or something. I'll make a bunch of belly bands with these. And these are just the strips left over from the pages that I cut out. And again, ephemera, like I can't even express to you the amount of ephemera in this kit. So here's tons and tons. I used some of it, and a lot of nice affirmations, things like that. So like treasured memories, cherish, found, grateful. I love all of them. And then there's also like these little bookmark things in here, which I will end up putting some fabric on or whatever. I don't know yet. But my favorite is, and I'm not giving this one away, is this one. It says Little Women, and that's one of my favorite all-time books. So I'm actually going to make this one for myself, and I'm going to put it in one of my collector's edition of my Little Women. So that one's mine. I'm not giving that one away. And then again, they're just going to make great gifts for my book friends because I'm in book clubs and things like that. So this will be good fun for my book clubs. And I cut out a couple of pieces of the ephemera I didn't use yet because I'm going to use them to collage. So I won't use all these little pieces. So what I did was I cut for this cover, I cut out, I'll put this aside. I cut out a bunch of those little pieces. This is all collaged from pieces from the ephemera pages that I cut out and I glued. So I made basically like a masterboard on top of it directly. And then after I was done with it and added the closure and then also this little space here with the burlap and all that and the leaf. But yeah, so the front cover is all collaged from the ephemera pieces. And then, like I said, I used some washi, but I'll show you. So here's some strips I have, like I said, left over. I can use this to do that with. I can, Great Expectations. I didn't know this was on here. Yeah, so I use pieces like this because I'm not going to use all of these. So I literally cut out these little tiny pieces and collaged them all over the front. These are all from ephemera pieces. So that's why I know everybody has leftover ephemera pieces sometimes. And look at all this great real estate you have. So I took these strips and I ran it down the side. And then I put a piece of faux lace here and here. And so that's how I made the cover. And then, like I said, I won't let this waste. I'll use this for collaging and things like that. And she has a ton of little wax seals in there. So I cut a bunch of them out and I use them as tabs for the tags. I love the purple in this kit. And then, yeah, like I said, I still have a bunch left over and I will do another one on this. So if you have any questions, you can let me know. And like I said, it's easy peasy. These make great little journals, folios, or daily planners, whatever you want to use them for. These are great for kids, whatever. But yeah, so here's my final project again. I just put a piece of jute, wrapped it around. I used a brad. I used about 3-4 layers. I used ephemera. I used the actual punch to punch out a butterfly, and then some cardstock. And I layered it really, really heavy duty so it'll last. And then I sewed around all the edges. You do not have to sew. I just do it because I love sewing on paper. And then I used this same washi throughout. And I thought it gave it a little color, a little fun. And then I put bird. Again, I used a splatter stamp with Tim Holtz vintage photo. And I also did ink. I did ink all these envelopes ahead of time before I put everything on. I used a brush. And I laid them flat and I just went around the corners. I inked every single thing when for example, this one's put together. I open it up and I take my ink pad and I just went like this all the way around every edge. So this way, if something's not covered by a piece of your paper, then you don't have to worry about it because now it's all inked up. And you can use whatever ink you want. You can do colors. You can do soot, you can do, I don't know, whatever you want to do, but that's how I did it. I went through every page and did that before I did anything else. After I put this together, that's the next step. I literally went around with every one of these. So, and I find it easier with a brush. If you don't have a brush, you can use a toothbrush. You can use your dauber. I try not to do that because I tend to do that and then I wear them out a lot faster because it does wear your dauber out a lot faster, but you can use it. So that's just, that would be the next step for this for me. And then, like I said, I just added a couple little embellishments. I didn't want to, because you could still totally write over this with a pen, and or marker, whatever. You could draw. But yeah, and then again, I left a couple pockets open. I showed you how to do that. And this one, I accidentally did that, and I thought, wow, that worked out really well because I wanted to put these larger tags in there, and I didn't want large pockets in here. So see, I had larger tags in there, and these I left a little thinner with Amazon packaging instead of cardstock. And then again, writing paper that I added, coffee dyed paper, and then a little bit of embellishment, some tags, and I sewed this signature in the center where I had the open envelopes. And then I used the longer parts and I on one side and I just bent it over and used a side tuck. I did that on a few of them. And again, same thing, just a nice quick little folio. And yeah, it's really cute, really fun. I had fun making it actually. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. And I just wind this around and I have my little, well, I wound it a little too much. I get a little overexcited. And if you have any questions, let me know. And the kit is by Silver and Sparkles Pam, and it's called Tattered Keepsakes. And it's a great kit, and I will make another one because I do have some leftover pages and some ephemera left over. And I will link it in the description below. And thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.